Hello everybody, this is Justin Elliott with Elliott's Estate Sales, and today I have a controversial video for you, and so it'll be a little spicy for you. A little bit of some drama in Elliott's Estate Sales, and just Elliott's Estate Sales, it's more an estate liquidation business. Let's get to it. And I want to go to Elliott's Estate Sales. So we have a 4.1, not a 5-star, but a 4.1. And you'll see the only person in Oklahoma City that I see that has a 5-star is McNeil Liquidations. Go take a look at those reviews and see if you think that those are actually legitimate people. I don't think so. Most people don't write like they're an English lit PhD scholar. They're fake. So take a look at those. Most people are under, about 4.1, 4.5. It's very hard to please people in an estate sale. So lots of drama, lots of emotional drama, and drama from the people that come in and shop the houses. And the videos, the people that, shop the sales, most of them, or a lot of them, there are regulars. And if they're not regulars, they completely can be a disaster to deal with because they have no idea how the sale works and how long we've been doing this. Most people come in and they know exactly what's going on, whereas other people have never been to an estate sale for, and that's great, but they haven't gone through the due diligence to read the rules, know that, it's a limited sale, etc., etc. So all the ones at the top are going to be like 4-star, 5 stars. We want to read the lowest ranking ones, those spicy ones. The one that was the most recent is from 8 months ago. Now, all these are on Google. So if you want to see them, if you want to read them, if you want to leave me good feedback, if you've had a good experience with Elliott's Estate Sales, whether you're a seller and or you're a shopper, or maybe you're a YouTube watcher, whatever, however you found me, go and leave me a good review. And if you've not had a good experience, then I'll be happy to respond. This person's name is Kelly Truesdale. And Kelly Truesdale says, I have attended several Elliott estate sales and found them to be a very pleasant experience. Thank you. But on Sunday, March 29th, 2020, all came to a blowout. And I think this was like maybe our first or second sale this year during COVID. So everybody was fluttered. And so we really didn't know what was going on with the virus. Let's see, because of the crowd limitation, which I totally get, my husband and I were waiting nicely outside by the front door and were verbally abused by the fella at the front door. I bet I was that fella. I simply was asking if we could come in as 2 people had just left. And the guy was rude, shot devil eyes at me, disrespected me, degraded me, and was very, very unprofessional. I didn't come to your cell to be yelled at or to upset anyone. After this guy was done, he mentioned he could ask me to leave. And she says, really? I was leaving without your invite and will never come to another Elliott's Estate Sales again. The entire situation could be handled in a more professional, non-attacking way. I remember this particular situation. Regardless who you are, I treat everyone the same. So I think this lady stepped out of line, or she, approached the inside of the house, and you've got, 20 or 30 people sitting outside. And, everybody's got the, the look eyes, and people are leaving with stuff. And so I can understand why she was getting, agitated and upset, as I would be, because you see everybody in an estate sale loading out stuff that you wanted. And so what am I to do? I can't let you come in. I'm so sorry. And I think that's exactly what I said was, I can't let you come in now. And I think I got like some kind of facial expression, or maybe she said something underneath her breath or something like that. And of course I did. I told her that she could leave because I felt like she was promoting negative attitude within everybody else that was having a good time. And so for me, if you come up and you're going to be like that, then I'm going to throw your ass out. We want to keep it positive, and we want to make sure that people are in a buying frame of mind. And if you're coming to my estate sale with any kind of intentions to be negative or to cause problems, I will ask you to leave. So I can't really defend that one. The next one's by Jenna Noel. She says, the owner of the company is extremely rude. He treated me as though I was stupid, and he pushed me out of the house for taking too long when I was looking at items to purchase. When I called the company, he yelled at me. He called me entitled. I will never go to his estate sales or his company, or will I ever go to an estate sale again? Whomever runs the company is a complete jerk. You know, I get called that a lot. You know, my personality is very, very upfront. And if I have a problem with you, I'm normally going to let you go or let you know, or let you go for that matter. This particular lady, I don't remember exactly, you know, pushing her out. I don't put my hands on people. You know, that's a complete outright lie. I don't know who Jenna Noel is, but if you know her, or if you have, you know, video footage of me pushing someone out of a house, I can't say that I haven't ever done that before. You know, you guys are on private property if you're coming to the estate sale. And if I've asked you to leave, you then are trespassing. So this is the reason why a lot of times I will have a sheriff at my sales, is because the problem is that when we close, people don't want to leave. They want to continue meandering around the house and looking at stuff. And even though that we've let them know that we're about to close, we make closing announcements, etc. It's a little bit kind of hearsay, but I don't put my hands on people, so that's a lie. This next one is pretty interesting. It's a negative review for 1 star, and it says, "No more headache people in my life." And the name is Snake Eyes. So whomever Snake Eyes, I am so sorry that I caused you a headache. Next one is Eddie G. And again, these are all on Google. They're all public so that you can actually see them. Went to him for a long time and noticed some changes. We're always changing at Elliott's estate sales. Then it was confirmed. Changing prices at the register. Justin could not cool to tell one price, then change it at the register. With many other estate sales going on, I haven't been back since, or nor will I. You know, for those of you who know, I don't switch prices at a cash register. You know, I don't generally even cash register, period. I normally have someone that actually is in charge of all of that. So me price changing at the cash register is a complete lie. So I'm not sure what this person's talking about, but again, show me some proof. This particular lady, she is a realtor here in Oklahoma City. I think she's a broker of her own brokerage. I'm not sure exactly what the name is, not that it matters. Now, this lady says, beware, beware, beware. Can I give a 0 stars? A negative 10 stars, she says. Yeah, a negative 10, that's right. My business partner and her husband witnessed Justin Elliott berate a client with shrill screams. Then we, my business and my partner and I, received written proof that he threatened our client with a lien, and I did, on her late mother's home after she found out his extensive legal history. I don't have an extensive legal history. My business partner and I, her husband, even saw Elliott's character intimidate our client with forcible euthanasia of her elderly pet cat. That is not true. This Elliott person tried to charge my client $1,000 because my business partner wrote a negative review on her own accord. And at the time, I did have a no negative review in my contract. And if they did, they could do so, but it would cost them money, and it had to be true what they were writing. If they were writing something that was false, then I was going to sue them, and I put that in the contract. So I cannot say enough bad things about this person and his staff. Look him up at the Oklahoma Supreme Court Network, especially the Oklahoma County and the Grady County. She didn't do business with me at all. Everything that she says, hearsay. You know, I don't have anything to hide. If I did, I wouldn't be so public. So that being said, it's just hilarious that this Joan Ackley seems that she thinks she has something on me. So Mary Walker puts, my experience with this company and this owner is exceptionally rude to customers. No paper tickets get written at the sales. No accountability. Absolutely awful. He also inflates his prices and then drops them to 75% on Sunday, which in my opinion hurts his clients. Beware of this company's underhanded techniques, as the owner gets really mad when people do their research and find out about his very checkered record. apparently have a legal pass that I don't know about, and said I would never use this bunch, is what she said. The next one's name is Chris. Whomever is working for them is beyond disrespectful. My daughter and I went to an estate sale hosted by them, and the gentleman, and she says she uses this term very loosely with this particular guy, was very unprofessional and was rude to my daughter, interrupted her while she was speaking, rolling his eyes and acting like a boy child. The woman sitting at the table behind the money was just staring around like she was lost. Everything was way overpriced, which I used at some of the sales. I got a lot of them. There was little to no organization. Most estate sales you go to hold a table and a receipt for you to carry while you shop. None of that happens here. I will never attend one of their particular company sales, and I would rather donate a kidney to a serial killer. Now that is pretty harsh. But Chris, I'm very upfront with my sales policies, and you can find all of my estate sale policies at estatesalesokc.com. And if you're in the Tulsa metro, you can find me at estatesalestulsa.com. And as far as, me being rude or interrupting anyone, I think it's very important for folks to understand that when you operate in an estate sale, it is not a traditional retail setting. You are not owed a thank you, a welcome, a how are you doing today, how may I help you. We do not lift, load, and carry things to your car for you. We do not wrap things for you. We do not go out of our way to be exclusively nice to folks, to come into someone's home and buy things at literally pennies of the retail price that the owner paid. We do not provide that experience. Now, you will see me go out of my way to say hello to people and greet people, and over the years we have a very large following that will come to most of our estate sales if you have something that's worth coming out for. Now, I think it's hilarious that this lady uses such extreme, ridiculous language. She'd rather give literally a kidney to a serial killer than come to my estate sale because I was that rude. People are hilarious. And then no organization. Are you kidding me? We do a before, during, and after every single estate sale, and I've done that for the last 12 months. And part of the reason why I am so upfront with folks, and part of the reason why I'm so detailed with all of my pictures, all of my rules, and all of my videos is because folks seem to think that this is a new business. And just because it's their first experience does not mean it's my first experience. And I've dealt with many situations like this. And there are rules in place and policies in place to avoid these situations. You just have to educate yourself. And so, not only am I taking over someone else's situation, whether it be a business liquidation or a home liquidation or what have you, I'm dealing with all the drama from the estate sale, and there's always drama. It is a high emotion business. And so not only are the sellers high emotion, but their families are also high emotion. And if you don't walk away with, $10,000, $15,000 in your pocket from having an estate sale from the stuff that you didn't want and left over, people start to gossip and hearsay. And then all of a sudden you have these random people that go and make comments on your reviews that you've never heard of and I didn't do business with. So it's just interesting to read all this stuff. His name is Joshua Yates, and this guy, I just don't really know how to feel about this guy. Because he is very, very personal when he writes his review. This is not a review of someone that has ever dealt with my services, never has contracted my services, but claims to run an estate sale company in Oklahoma. And so he wanted to leave his judgment about my services and my business. There is a compliment in here somewhere though, so let's find it. So this says, update. The owner, Justin Elliott, just called me back after I posted this review and he left me a voicemail and ended it with, if you'd like to discuss this on the phone like a man, then call me back. Hey Justin, we did discuss it on the phone and you entered the conversation abruptly and said you weren't interested. How exactly is that a phone conversation like a man? That sounds like a conversation like a man to me. If you're not interested, you're not interested, right? This is your company and your name is all over it, sir. You choose to act the way you did today, and you choose to run your estate sales in a manner which I am qualified to criticize. Respond to the review in a manner provided. Don't call someone on their personal phone with confrontation in mind. Here's the original review. Okay, so here's my deal. I've been an estate liquidator. I've been an estate liquidator family in Duncan, Oklahoma, the entire existence. Not a competitor. He is a competitor because I work all over Oklahoma and I've bid several Duncan estate sales. And I might be in Duncan next weekend. You never know. So for him to say that he's not a competitor is hilarious. I've been involved in 100 estate sales. Here are my observations after being to a couple of Elliott's estate sales. Minimum organization, no cleaning. Staff isn't friendly or helpful. Prices are crazy out of balance. Last hour is ran like a cattle call, and then the doors are shut forever. It's pretty dramatic, isn't it? Elliott's has the social media web presence game won in Oklahoma. That's one comment. They also go to links to present a professional appearance of their estate sale. That's 2 compliments. Signage, uniforms, even law enforcement I provide at my estate sales. This is half the battle. However, I think they say yes to every sale, but choose their level of involvement. Adhere to their policies based on the quality of the merchandise, provide profit potential to the company. And I think that's true for every single business. Okay, so let's look at some of their sales policies. 7-day guaranteed expert pricing. This only shows that they're not willing to do research necessary to price fairly and maximize their profits for a client. Where does he have any kind of proof of this? My guess, based on the pricing I've seen, is that they take 1 day to price, organize, and 1 day to advertise. On the first day, I walked through and found a never-used mid-century leather men's wallet from a well-known producer, not priced. I got it for $1. Good deal. They could have priced it $10. It's worth $30. And sold it for easily if they had just taken the time to research and write a tag for it. They offered speed, not maximum profits. So that's why it's a lucrative decision for Elliott's. Because they only had to pay 4 days of payroll and they get to pocket all of the rest. Minimum output equals acceptable return. Again, I don't know what in the hell he's talking about. Now, something about closing day. In the sale that I attended this weekend in Mesta Park, everything was $1, not for the last 30 minutes. This was not advertised. Of course it wasn't advertised. Why would I advertise that? Everybody would have showed up at $1, right? I saw 10 pieces of heavy antique furniture leave that house for $1 a pop. Now this house had been abandoned and everything in it was way out of use. And it was antique furniture, but it wasn't antique furniture anything you'd want to sit on. It was something you'd see in Goodwill, donated, or something that you'd see outside at the front of a house in Mesta Park where someone else had removed it. So let's keep that in mind. This was done because of the location in Mesta Park. So just FYI. Sounds great if you're the one that's carting it away, but if you're the client, then this seems like quite a loss. When the bell rang, they cleared the house, locked the doors, and left within 20 minutes. That's what we normally do. We will actually leave the estate sale when it's closed, and we'll go home and actually eat, and we'll do some accounting and see how much money we make for the day. Okay, so 25 to 20% of the merchandise was still left in the house. This is quite often that a lot of things are left over and from a house, especially one that's been used and used and used, and the stuff all needs to be redone in order for it to, maintain its maximum value. Okay, so I called the owner and asked what they did with it. This is a common question. We get this question, I swear to God, like every single estate sale. Someone will call and say, hey, I was calling because I went to your estate sale. What are you going to do with the leftovers? And everybody wants to know, where do these leftovers, these items go that they didn't want to purchase, they didn't want to buy, but yet everyone is curious. And so that can only lead me to believe that they want something for nothing. And 9 times out of 10, what they really are looking for, they're fishing. It's a reseller that's looking to be able to go and resell things in another venue. Like a lot of our customers are all resellers. Resellers drive estate sale businesses here. So that being said, it's just hilarious to me. He knows as an estate liquidator where all of this stuff is going. He just didn't like the answer that I gave him, which was basically none of your business. The sale is over. And if you wanted something, you should have purchased it at the estate sale. Hello? He rudely explained to me that they have a clean out crew and that takes care of everything, and something too big of a liability, and that we're not interested. And it's very much true. It is a liability specifically to let somebody else in the house that's going to buy the stuff. I am going to have to sit there and babysit them while they load up an entire house, and most people are going to be very meticulous when they load up a house because they want to resell their stuff. So that being said, the sale is closed. We do have to come to a closing point at each sale. And so, no, I'm not here to babysit you while you load up everything in the house for basically free, because he didn't make any offers. I sat stunned in silence. He sat stunned in silence after an entire house went to $1 everything. I told him thank you and hung up. This is the owner. I hadn't even asked him to buy the remainder. So he was too big of a liability to have someone come in and buy the remainder from you when you had just had the house full of people for 2 days. It sounds like they have a very lucrative way of dealing with leftovers, and they want to keep it that way, which is fine. But you can't be an adult about it instead of being rude and ending a conversation. It appears that I'm not the only one that has had issues with Justin Elliott or his employees. I would advise to find another estate liquidator. Enjoy your extra money with a slightly longer turnaround time. This entire review is absolutely hilarious. I could go to every single other person's that does an estate sale in Oklahoma, or other states for that matter, and leave them my personal opinion about how they run their business different than I do. But no, he thought that he would take this day in 3 years ago, some 2017, to slander my business. Here he is, an estate sale liquidator, coming to my estate sale, trying to buy estate sale leftovers from the general public being in a house. He just identified and told us that we run a great business, we have great uniforms, good advertising, and we own social media in the Oklahoma area. But I was rude to him because I wouldn't sell him the leftovers of an estate sale. I think the estate sale might have grossed $5,000. It was not in good shape at all. The place had been vacant for very, very many years, and the house needed to be rehabbed. So it's just hilarious that you paint a picture behind a computer screen instead of actually dealing with someone on the phone or even in person, because this person never offered me to buy anything. When we do an estate sale, when it's done, it's done. That's what we advertised, and that's what we're contractually obligated to. And at the time, I think we donated everything that was left. So it made more sense for me to donate the stuff and donate the stuff that could be left over by and used by people in the area, rather than it was for him to cart it down to Duncan to resell. I'm sorry. This one's by Pamela Reed. When I asked for my receipt, I was told receipts were not given. I said I had a tax exemption, and he said we don't charge sales tax. I'm wondering if this is a legitimate business. I witnessed one of the workers being very rude to a young girl with a baby. Because if we're rude to anybody young with a baby, we're not legitimate, right? No records were being kept. How does she know that? Because we're going to keep a big booklet on the table of all of our sales records from the day, right? Very shady company. I heard the owners shut down the sale. They were upset. They were being treated so rudely with no records were being kept. Beware of this shady couple of guys, because we're just a couple of guys, right? Take all of your money and treat you disrespectfully as if you have any records, and then it makes them mad. Who are you? Did you do business with me directly? I don't know who a Pamela Reed is. Okay, and on to the next one. Sorry, y'all, I had to go get me some coffee. It is freezing out here, and this is all recorded during COVID. And of course, my husband is here, and our dogs are antsy. And anytime anybody comes and knocks on the door or anything, the whole house gets stirred up. So this is my recording spot at this moment. The next one is by Angie Marsh. And Angie Marsh says, I went to an estate sale in Arcadia. I remember this specifically estate sale. It was a really pretty house. It was actually for a builder, and all the stuff was basically brand new in the house. It was less than a year old. They used it to stage the houses that they sold. To an estate sale in Arcadia on Sunday afternoon. So this would be our second day sale. Okay, second day, everything's half off when we open. The staff was nice and helpful. Thank you. But at 3 p.m., when it came time to check out and pay, 3 p.m. is probably when we closed. 3 p.m. means that you're already out the door, not that it's time to pay. Because at 2:30 I'm gonna make announcements, at 2:45, at 2:50, 2:55, and it won't just be me making announcements that we're closing. Today is our last day. Please round up your last purchases and get your butt out of that door by 3 o'clock. And I will say it very nicely for the first couple of times, and then if I have to get loud, then I will get loud and make sure everybody knows that we're closing at 3 o'clock. It's got to a point to where sometimes I will just have an Oklahoma County or Tulsa County police officer there at my sale to run everybody off when we close, because people think the longer they stay and the longer they hold up my team or what have you, that they will redeem extra discounts, and that is not how things operate. A lot of times the stuff is not even going to be cleaned out. A lot of times the family's going to donate it. And so, we're operating on a time scale on most of these situations. One of which that we have to get this whole thing done in about 7 to 14 days. The house is either going to be listed for sale. We may have the house sold. I may have actually be buying the house. I've not only bought the house, but I've already bought the stuff in it. And I have somebody screaming and yelling at me about closing. So, it's advertised. We advertise that when our hours are, and I tell everybody, do not show up at the last 10 minutes and think that I'm going to let you stay past time, because I'm not. This was new to this one, so that she learned a really valuable lesson. She says that I said basically cash or credit. And the reason why I asked that is because if you're going to do cash, I will get you out of our line, and I will take your cash so you don't have to wait on someone that's paying with credit card. Credit cards hold up our lines, and because the ID has to be validated, they may have extra accounting that needs to be done, and we have to run it through a credit card processing. So that being said, if it is cash or card, I will ask you if it's cash or card, because I want to know whether or not I can help you now. If I can help you right then and there and be able to get you go on your merry way and out of our line, then it speeds up our line time, our wait time, and we're able to close on time. But she thought I was being rude. He would throw items to the side and make up prices because he sometimes posts prices on the walls, but mainly not. So he didn't know the prices. I always know the prices. I'm the person that makes the prices. The time me and my friend were there, items were half price, and she's right, because it had been Sunday. He was trying to tell us we owed full price on some items. That's not the truth. He was having a hard time, it seemed, trying to get us checked out. He was rude and kept saying hateful things about prices being on the walls. Then he threw his hands up in the air and said, "Ladies, I'm done. I'm through." So my friend paid for all of her items that she agreed, and she was then charged taxes. I paid for my few items, and he reluctantly agreed upon. I was not charged taxes. That's because she paid with cash. Her friend paid with card. If you pay with the credit card, then I'm going to charge you sales tax. If you pay with cash, then I will cover your sales tax. So that means that I'm actually paying your sales tax for you. I'm giving you an extra discount if you pay cash. because when you pay with a card, it costs me another 3 to 4% of everything that you're charging, including sales tax. So if you can imagine, it gets very expensive when people don't pay with cash. So this is, again, another reason why this has happened. And so she's assumed that she knows what's going on, and she's pissed. Gathered up all of her things and started to go throughout the garage. He headed us off and told us we had to go through the front doors. This is true. One exit, one entrance. If your items are small enough to go through the front door, it's protocol and policy that you will go out the front door, not the garage. We were probably closing. That's why we closed the garage. His arms were flailing and he felt the need to escort us out and kept repeating over and over, good day, ladies. Have a nice day. LOL. So fake. I have been going to estate sales for years and have never experienced such a behavior from someone. We all laughed on the way home. I know people have bad days, and we all do, but not to that extreme. It was unacceptable to treat your customers in such a manner. What comes around goes around. Justin had an extreme meltdown that day. I noticed a bad review that he received previously about his comments back to the customers. That evidently is the way of doing business. Please think twice before you give a person a time of day that acts this way. It's not worth mine. Life is too short and too many other sales available. Have a nice day. 4/11/2017 responded to Justin's review from me. You can make up stories until the cow comes home, as they say, trying to cover up for how you acted towards your customers. I know the truth, and it will all come back to you. I have an idea what grab stuff you're talking about. I was there for 1 to 3 picking out items. Staff members came up in the backyard 2:30 and informed us that what was going on at 3. We didn't know. So at 2:45 we went into the house and checked out for what we had thought on the sold table for half price. Justin seemed upset. Not us, Justin. Please don't tell me what I was doing wrong for my intentions when you don't have a clue. Just admit you have a meltdown and that was it, and that's okay. I mean, I don't have a meltdown at every estate sale. Now, I will tell you that I will not be pushed around, and you don't want to make me upset. What I think of funny is that, when you're in an estate sale, here this lady is at 75% off at this point, because it would have been 3 o'clock. She wants everything she wants for 75% off. She wants to tell me how to run my business and how to treat my customers when it's closing time and you are about to be escorted off the premises because you are now trespassing because we're closed. People are so entitled. We're on private property. You've been invited to shop someone's household. I don't know about you, but when I come into an estate sale, I don't expect to be greeted at the door. I don't expect to be coddled, and I don't expect special treatment. I'm within someone's home in terms of which they're liquidating for a reason. And for someone to come into someone else's house and feel like they need to be treated a certain way is hilarious. You aren't their family. You are not my customer, because if you were my customer, you would have come the first day and spent full price, spent prices for stuff that me and my sellers and my staff can actually, pay our bills on. The second day, people are literally picking from all the stuff that's been ravaged of the first day. These people are buying things for cheap, and they come in with entitlement and problems and things that they need to be treated as though they're going, say, to, Dillard's to pay full price. That is not the situation at an estate sale, and if you think that that is how you need to be treated at an estate sale, please, yes, find some other estate sale that will charge you what I charge you, coddle you, back up your stuff, package it for you, and lift, load, and carry it to your car for you. That's all I can say about that one. Now, this one is an interesting situation because this is the husband. This is the husband of a client, her estate sale for, and the client was, batshit crazy. She had inherited a house and they had a lot of debt, and they basically allowed me to sell a lot of stuff in the house and then pulled it out of the sale before the estate sale happened. So they lured all of my, shoppers, the estate sale people, they were going to come and shop the house. A time to see the stuff that they might have an opportunity to buy, and then ripped it out from underneath them. Big no-no in the estate sale business. Anyway, he says, this company and its employees are the most unprofessional bunch I have ever seen. From start to scratch, it was a very bad experience using them. They were very disrespectful to us, our family's belongings, and the customers at the estate sale. They refused to show you any financials during the sale, and no inventory was kept as what was sold in the figures after the estate sale, even going as far as saying, you may owe me when it's all done. Mr. Elliott, you are just plain rude and unprofessional. I highly recommend anyone else. I wouldn't send my worst enemy to these people. If you do plan on using them, ask for inventory and ask for financials before you sign a contract. You know, when you approach an estate sale company, you don't ask for their financials. You know, why would I provide you my bank statements to liquidate your estate sale? Doesn't make a lot of sense. And in my contract, I've been using the same contract up until this year for the last decade. In my contract, there is an area where you select that you want a private party accounting, a third-party private party accounting of everything in the house. And then they will give you that total. We will, you know, give you all kinds of information that you'd like, but you have to pay for that service. That service takes hours and hours and hours of time to be able to develop a short list of everything that's sold in your house, from a dollar item all the way up to your highest expensive item. Now, this place was a downsize, and it wasn't really that great of a sale. It was maybe a $5,000 sale. And I think I made 25%, maybe 30% of that. So if you can imagine, it wasn't a lot of money, and it certainly wasn't worth, a couple $100s worth of accounting. So when you look through a contract and when you look at any of agreements, you need to make sure that you know what you're paying for. If he wanted that service, I would have happily provided that to him. If he had paid for it, didn't pay for it. Now, this next one is by Wendy Forman, and if you've heard me talk about Miss Wendy Forman, she's a realtor. I think she has a broker's license. I'm not sure. She might be underneath another broker. But at the time, this is an estate sale that we did over in Wildwood, and it was an estate sale that we did many years ago, not the Wildwood sale that we did here recently. But she had sold the house, called me, was very rude, basically said that she needed my services, showed up, didn't even introduce herself, and it was a weird situation. The family was an interesting family. It was a very private situation in which it was really awkward. I mean, we run into many situations where it's awkward, and we can't really ask questions because the family may be deceased. Maybe it's a private situation, what have you. We're there just to assess the job and take it and then, bid it. And if they sign, they sign. In this situation, they did sign, and they wanted an estate sale, immediately. Wendy Forman took it upon herself, the realtor, to comment on my business page. She didn't sign a contract with me. In fact, she never met me, okay? She put, we're horrible to deal with, would never recommend to any elderly clients selling their home again. Also, the owner made up stories and berated us and the family. It is hilarious that she would say that. I had an Oklahoma County sheriff on the premises the entire time. This house had illegal drug paraphernalia. It had things I don't even want to talk about in it. And many, many witnesses. And this was the particular estate sale. If you watch my online series, Estate Sales, Bizarre Stories of an Estate Liquidator, this is the sale that Linda got pushed at by a lady that basically thought she was going to make up her own rules during the estate sale. She pushed Linda. This realtor never met me. She never talked to me. Her name is Wendy Forman. I'm not sure who she works with. It might be Keller Williams. I'm not sure. All I know is that on the video that I recorded, there were several comments that everybody had a Wendy story. So Miss Forman, is crazy. So I don't know what in the hell she's talking about, but I will tell you that we do work for many, many elderly clients, and we have very, very many happy families. Believe it or not, these are just the bad customers of 62. Use on Google, that is. The next one is by Michael Scully. He said, not helpful with estate planning at all. I would disagree, on the contrary. So, if you have any questions about estate sales, or if you would like to talk with me personally about one of these reviews that you've seen, or you have actually experienced my services and you are someone that I have bought their house or reassign their home or business, I would be happy for you to leave a legitimate review, whether it not it be good or bad or fair. Definitely interested in hearing your input. We do only have 62 reviews, and we have about 30,000 people that follow us on social media. You know, not everybody takes the time to go and review people that, you know, work really hard, do a good job, you know, have pride in what they do. Not everybody takes the time out of their day to leave good reviews, period. But bad reviews, those are always something that everyone wants to leave, in my opinion. I don't feel like these reflect my business at all. I feel like these people are bogus about most majority of the stuff that they've said, especially about the one that does estate sales. Like, are you kidding me? But you know, from then on out, they're all 4 stars and 5 stars of people that have enjoyed my service. We've been in business since 2012, y'all. You know, I deal with all kinds of situations. You walk into many different households with many different situations. About 2 out of 10 customers I can actually help. Either they don't have enough stuff, they aren't reasonable in their expectations and their values of their stuff secondhand, or they just don't have an estate sale. You know, a lot of times people call and, you know, they want the luxury of someone coming in and doing all the hard work for them and them making the big fat check. But they don't realize that there's so much labor that goes into having an estate sale, that majority of the cost of having an estate sale is eaten up by having an estate sale. It is simply a convenience for any average normal household to clear the stuff from the home without having to pay to move it to a new home or to sell the house. You know, there's many reasons to have an estate sale, but unless you have an amazing collection, and if you have amazing collection, I will let you know that, look, you know, this is going to be a $100,000 estate sale, and I think that we'll do really well. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I do hope you take the time, go on to Google, type Elliott's estate sales, and leave me some good feedback, y'all. I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate your business. Thank you.